Tzu Chi volunteers in Chile look after the poor during the pandemic by distributing much-needed food. Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center's lab technicians help with much-needed rapid screening stations in their community. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. Chile has few Tzu Chi volunteers, but they continue to help the poor during the pandemic. Tzu Chi volunteers visit nursing homes, homeless shelters, and local communities to distribute food. Take a look.
During the pandemic, it is not easy for disadvantaged people to receive enough food. Chile Tzu Chi volunteers came to homeless shelters and nursing homes to provide care, and they also went to schools to cook hot food.
We came to promote vegetarianism and hope that everyone will be vegetarian, which can reduce the spread of the pandemic.
In churches' dining rooms are scattered in various communities to save the poor from hunger. Because of the kindness from all sides, it has not stopped providing meals for more than a year.
Muy bueno. Excelente.
Thank you for your help. May God bless you 100 times over. We will wait for you next month.
It protects the school and the community, and at the same time helps the dining room continue to operate.
Tzu Chi also went to Palo Alto to provide materials to 400 households. Taiwanese entrepreneurs have the same obligation to assist in transportation of the materials.
When the car stopped at the traffic light, we didn't know that a thief climbed into the truck and stole 2 boxes of cooking oil.
The lack of materials can be seen. Community volunteers came to help and also made the posters to assist in the promotion.
The photos I selected are all caring activities and cooking events and distribution we carried out in the community a few months ago.
Residents receive supplies in an ordinary manner and also express gratitude with the gestures. Some residents also donate their love.
Thank you for your donation. Too many people are suffering during the pandemic.
Everyone helps each other out of love. This is the best medicine to face the virus.
Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers respond to Health Challenge 21, promoting going vegetarian for 21 days. In the beginning, it was very difficult to find restaurants to cooperate, though fortunately, 3 restaurants in Kaohsiung were willing to accept the challenge. Here's more.
All kinds of mouth-watering vegetarian meal boxes are placed on the desk for nutritionists to try.
Consuming cereal and beans together, these 2 kinds of food can supplement protein absorption, so you can have adequate protein.
The criteria of the meal boxes is based on Health Challenge 21 promoted by Tima in Malaysia. The diets should contain all vegetarian food with less oil, salt and sugar, and must be eaten for 21 days.
Almost no oil, less salt, and less sugar. So at that time, 3 out of 6 restaurants withdrew from the event. They said it's too hard for them.
Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers looked for cooperating restaurants in early June. 3 restaurants accepted the challenge. One of them was an Indian chef.
You can make delicious braised dishes with spices, as vegetarian food is originally very healthy, but if you eat the wrong thing, it's not healthy.
In order to make the dishes healthy and delicious, the chef has put a lot of effort into making the meal boxes. Volunteers also provided fresh ingredients for the chef to cook.
We hope that these 21 days can allow everyone who knew little in the beginning to become familiar with vegetarian food, so they can practice it in their daily lives.
Up to now, I think it's very comfortable to eat vegetarian food. It makes my body lighter.
In the midst of the epidemic prevention, people are willing to respond to the activity of going vegetarian. These meal boxes are not only healthy, but also provide an opportunity for people to develop good eating habits.
A 77-year-old grandfather was diagnosed and admitted to a special COVID isolation ward of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. His Indonesian caregiver was given a copy of Jing Si Aphorisms, both in Chinese and Indonesian, to help relieve some of the pressure of taking care of this elderly grandfather. In this COVID ward, Aya, An Indonesian caregiver handed her Jing Si Aphorisms to the grandpa lying in bed. The two discussed the contents of the book together. In the process of discussing these aphorisms, grandpa nodded frequently and expressed his affirmation. The 77-year-old grandfather was diagnosed a week ago and was admitted to the special COVID ward at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. The nurse specially gave him a book of Jing Si Aphorisms in Chinese and Indonesian. Aya was very happy to receive this book and let Grandpa listen to the Jing Si Aphorisms spoken in Indonesian. In addition to taking care of the health of patients, a dedicated medical staff in the ward do not forget to give psychological support. Caregivers are also not overlooked.
Aya takes care of Grandpa really carefully. I am also very worried about Grandpa's health. Through sharing like this, the hearts of both parties will be more calm.
Reading Jing Si Aphorisms helps the caregivers relieve the stress as well as make the patient's mind calm and able to restore good health as soon as possible. As COVID has yet to relent in Taiwan, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital held an online seminar sharing topics like infection control, COVID pregnancy, and other medical care experience. 2,000 people watched the live stream. Starting from May 16th, we received 29 confirmed patients. We then set up 4 more dedicated wards and 1 more dedicated intensive care unit.
Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital is among the 18 emergency response hospitals in New Taipei City, and when COVID cases broke out in Taiwan again this year on May 11th, they immediately went into action once more.
Our severe patient percentage compared to our normal patient number is 50 to 70%. So there are about 47% of patient rooms and ICU at the hospital which are dedicated to positive patients. Our positive severe patient number is 7% of that of the entire country.
Many times, family members who test positive may not get treated at the same hospital. And if they pass away, the family members could only see them through their phone. We hope to provide some emotional support during that time.
This is one of our nurses. It's a male nurse. Our nurses are not afraid of the virus and not only provide standard nurse care, but he is also teaching him some rehabilitation therapy.
The detailed care helping patients to recover, the nurse and medical staff's actions move everyone. The doctors also shared with the panel some of their treatments which have yielded good results.
This is called a prone position. The patients lie on their stomach. Some are seen with their faces tilted to the side, which can help them feel more comfortable, similar to a superhero pose.
This patient accepted these 2 types of treatment. One is the high-flow nasal cannula. This treatment has been highlighted this time because it can provide enough oxygen and enough humidity so the patient feels more comfortable during breathing.
The online seminar had over 2,000 people join. Thanks to everyone's enthusiastic participation, these frontline medical staff can feel educated in continuing forward.
Huang Xiangyu is a respiratory therapist at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital with 15 years' experience. She is responsible for treating COVID patients and also the mother of 3 children. She is committed to caring for COVID patients as part of her medical mission.
Dancing with brick steps, the life-saving HFNC machine is the best dancing partner of the respiratory therapist. It is absolutely the happiest thing for the medical team to see the patient getting healthier and healthier day by day.
我是呼吸治疗师，然后我帮你带这一台，让你可以比较喘的程度会改善这样。
Huang Xiangyu, who is a respiratory therapist at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, is responsible for taking care of COVID patients. Having zero distance with the virus, she is actually afraid of getting infected, but she needs to hold onto her fear for the sake of patients.
We are in the hardest impacted area. We have no way to step aside. It's our responsibility to take care of these senior patients who have nowhere to go.
She is the most reliable pillar for patients, but she is also the mother of 3 children. Standing at the pandemic front line, she always worries about this.
I also worry that I might be a breach for virus transmission.
As soon as she said that, she received a video call from her baby girl. Kaohsiung Tzu is afraid of making any mistakes to bring the virus home.
I became more neurotic. When I get home, I will spray alcohol, although I have already taken a bath in the hospital. When I get home, I will still take another shower and put on brand new clothes before hugging my children.
Every day when she finishes work, she arrives home at around 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening. There are only about 2 hours to be with the children before they go to bed. However, she doesn't want to give up her family nor healthcare work.
Even though I gave birth to 3 children, in fact, I still don't want to give up my favorite job because I like the feeling of taking care of patients.
With the mother's perseverance, she undertakes the mission of medical care wholeheartedly, helping patients recover so that they can return to their family and regain happiness as soon as possible.
Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center's lab technicians not only help with patient specimens, but during the pandemic, they also lent their support to Hualien Township's rapid screening station. Let's take a look.
During this wave of the pandemic, Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center's lab technicians help out on the front lines by heading to rapid screening stations. With the weather often being over 35 Celsius in Taiwan, it is such a challenge to their mental and physical state when wearing head-to-toe protective gear.
We have patients who come into the hospital to do rapid screening each day, and when we handle those specimens, we handle them as if they are positive to start. When I went to Chengde's rapid screening station, I went there without much anxiety. It was just like any other work day. However, it was pretty hot in those few days, so I had a hard time dealing with the heat.
The lab technicians also head out to help on site when given emergency tasks. When the Taroko derailment happened, they helped bandage up the injuries of the 76 monks who were helping to restore the bodies of the deceased. When Lin Xiaoru had a chance to connect with the 76 monks during his participation of it, he was extremely moved by their actions.
At the beginning, I was very unfamiliar with their line of work, but then I saw how these experts didn't sleep for 24 hours as it continued working. I was filled with respect. They're very determined to get the job done right for the deceased.
In the medical sector, these lab technicians also do their part on the front line to help keep everyone safe.
In the face of the pandemic, a 10-year-old boy in Hualien District, New Taipei City, spent all his pocket money to buy a rapid screening kit for the police station, hoping to safeguard the health of the hardworking police officers. Take a look.
Another epidemic, the little boy can see this side of police officers when watching the news.
Police officers need to wear masks all the time and go around to carry out their duties. I feel sympathy for them because they have high risk of infection.
Accompanied by his family, he came to the Hualien police station. A box of rapid screening kits cost about $300. It was bought by the 10-year-old Yi Chen at the expenses of all his own savings.
It can detect whether they have contracted the disease.
Because he has the habit of saving money for future use whenever necessary.
I'm very touched because even for us adults cannot do that, but a little child is willing to do it. It's very rare to have such a loving heart.
He is just 130 centimeters tall, but he has a great loving heart.
Although I only have this little power to help others right now, I will uphold this spirit to help more people in the future. Hello, Mayor Ho. I am an Inga resident.
At the pandemic prevention press conference, the letter of Mr. Ke, who is a twin father, was made to public. It was written that the twins were born 4 years ago, weighing only 665 grams and 695 grams, and were well taken care of in the intensive care unit for 5 months. Now, in the face of the pandemic, Mr. Ke fully understands the concern of medical staff, so he is willing to donate the treatment subsidies of his children.
About $100 is donated in the name of the children. The mayor is entrusted to express the citizens' support and gratitude to healthcare workers.
Apart from frontline medical staff, the manufacturers of rapid screening kits also work every day to produce the kits. All walks of life stay with one heart, hoping the pandemic will ease as soon as possible.
With the pandemic reaching Taiwan and rapid screening stations overcrowded in various places, the quarantine capacity of medical staff has been tested. Foreign countries offer home testing kits, which are now available in Taiwan. Today, we take a look at COVID-19 rapid screening tests, how they quickly detect the virus. Take a look.
The rapid screening station is full of people waiting for COVID screening. After the outbreak of the coronavirus epidemic in Taiwan, medical staff at the screening station were so busy that they have no time to rest. If you walk into a pharmacy or a supermarket with an attached pharmacy, you can receive a free COVID-19 home quick screening kit. The British government has launched free home screening, providing millions of test kits for the public. And in Hong Kong, as long as you put in a few coins, you can buy rapid COVID-19 test kits at vending machines. Now in June, Taiwan also opened up qualified manufacturers to import rapid screening kits.
At present, regarding home use testing kits, companies who submit application to import this product, if they can provide related information, then their product can be approved for domestic use. After that, they can sell the testing kits for retailers via legal channels.
At present, there are 3 common types of home fast screening in various countries. According to the different places of inspection, they are divided into 3 types: middle tablet swab, nasal swab, and saliva specimen.
The positive rate of nasopharyngeal is much higher, nearly twice as high as the otopharyngeal. There are also many experts who combine 2 or more collection methods for testing. The nasal cavity collection is divided into 3 parts, from the bottom to the top. Here's our middle turbinate, then the so-called front nasal cavity. This time, 2 quick home screening tests passed. In fact, it is aimed at the front nasal cavity and enters the nostril for a distance of about 1 to 2 centimeters.
The quick screening tests approved this time mainly includes 2 detection methods: nucleic acid and virus antigen, both of which only need to collect a sample with 1 or 2 centimeters inside the nasal cavity, and the results can be immediately known.
This is a fast screening reagent recently approved by the U.S. FDA. The method used is a LAMP PCR method, which is a PCR nucleic acid amplification method, which is different from the real-time PCR. As a constant temperature PCR, as most of the rapid screening are seeking antigens fighting the virus. The technology has been applied for a very long time. You can see this in our flu screening kits or pregnancy tests. They all use this technique.
Using immunochromatographic technology to quickly detect virus antigens, the time for testing is only 20 to 30 minutes, and the sensitivity is more than 80% compared with standard PCR. With the rapid screening agent of nucleic acid detection, LAMP PCR, the result can be known in about 40 minutes, and the sensitivity is more than 90% when compared with PCR.
If the quick home screen is positive, you must go for a nucleic acid test to confirm whether there is really an infection. If the quick home screen is negative, you should also pay attention to the possibility of false negatives.
If we screen 1 million people, the false positives may result in more than tens of thousands of people who may not be true positives, but the false positive results are more worth worrying about. So if there are 1 million screenings, there will probably be just a few thousand false negatives.
People can now be screened quickly at home, and a large number of COVID patients may be detected at one time, expanding testing capacity of domestic medical treatment and finding asymptomatic COVID patients from potentially spreading the virus everywhere without knowing it.
Therefore, we recommend that if you live in an area with relative high rate of the infection or hotspot that overlaps with confirmed person's footprint, or even people who have contact with a confirmed person, use household quick screening tests.
In the future, as long as qualified companies apply to relevant government units, they can import quick screening tests. This will allow people to more easily grasp their own health conditions. And if they become positive, they can go to the hospital or screening station for PCR testing as soon as possible.
In Malaysia, there's a famous philanthropist named Kwan Chi Hung. He often gives out potatoes to impoverished children, so people call him Uncle Potato. His team is spread throughout the country, providing help to people in need. During the pandemic, he established Sister Ma's Bucket, helping people affected by the pandemic.
Despite his fierce and tough appearance, he is very kind and passionate. When people seek help from him, he will provide the needed help. Besides providing food and money, Uncle Potato and the ambulance fleet transports people in need to the hospitals. He also helps bring the impoverished diseased people back to their hometown for burial. What worries him the most is seeing students unable to go to school because of financial difficulties.
一个小孩子他读医生，他读到一半不可以读，你要教他做什么？
If a student studies at a medical school and all of a sudden he is unable to continue his studies, what do you expect him to do? His father drives a tour bus, but he does not have money now. He'll complete his studies in a year, but his father does not have money. It should not be like this. He is like my child. I do not want to see this happen, so I will help him. If we help him finish medical school, he can become a doctor and help more people. When I was little, we did not have money to attend school. They are the future leaders of our country. We should help them.
读完这个书，他就帮更多人，他做医生，他帮更多人。以前小的时候都没有钱读书嘛，他们是我们的国家的 leaders， 以后的国家的 leaders， 我们应该服他们嘛。
Malaysia has implemented movement control order for more than a year, affecting many business sectors. Many people are facing financial difficulties. Some people even chose to end their lives. To help people who are facing financial difficulties, Kwan Chi Hung has established a bucket of Sister Ma. Sister Ma is the nickname for maids in rich people's houses in 1920s to 1930s. They stay single, independent, and strong. And no matter what difficulties they face, they work together to overcome the challenges. Kwan Chi Hung hopes to encourage the people who are struggling with life to stay strong because there must be a way out.
is the spirit that we need to instill in everyone.
Sister Ma's Bucket is a concept we want to share with people. When they eat, they always save money in the bucket. Then, whoever has difficulties can use the money first. This is a team spirit. Do not feel hopeless. I believe the pandemic has united all the people of Malaysia, so we will care about other people and get through the difficulties.
And how are we going to cross this bridge?
With love and care for people in need, Kwan Chi Hung also brought hope to people who are struggling in life.
A 94-year-old grandpa in Chingsui is looked after by the local long-term care center. Because of the pandemic, his son's income dramatically decreased, leaving him with no money to buy diapers. Thankfully, a long-term care center was able to deliver diapers to him, making him quite happy. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.